Elliot Watkins, better known as Muselk, is in my opinion the biggest success story to come out of the Team Fortress 2 community. Say what you will about quality and overall positive impact, but Muselk has reached a level of popularity and fame that no other TF2ber has, even if some think the path they took to get there was treacherous. I discovered Muselk in mid to late 2014, before I even started playing TF2. His videos are the big reason I fell in love with this game in the first place, and his personality and style of video making inspired me and so many others in countless ways. Muselk uploaded his first video to YouTube in August 2013, a short rocket jump showcase. Most of Muselk's first videos were tutorials and gameplay clips, as he was naturally skilled at the game, but over time live commentaries became the predominant video type on his channel. Live commentaries aren't so common amongst big TF2 channels anymore, but back in 2013 everyone was making them. The updates were frequent, the casual meta was always changing, and for 2 years the game had been free to play and relevant, making the inflow of new players constant. There were of course some of the comedy clips and high-effort video essays that you get nowadays, but then more than ever, live commentaries were the way of life in 2013 TF2 YouTube. Personality is crucial for starting any channel, but commentary channels especially need a strong commentator to succeed, and Muselk had personality for days. Once he switched to live commentaries, Muselk's growth was huge, and it was rapid. 6 months after his first video, before he switched up to his new content, Muselk had just under 10,000 subscribers. A few months later, that number was 100,000. A year after that, 300,000. Videos to explain this growth could be the Foot Pyro video, or the start of his Worst Loadout series, and maybe even his Twitch streaming. But these videos wouldn't have found an audience so easily without his already established following. After creating a moderately sized fanbase with his impressive rocket jump videos, his enjoyable commentaries were able to find an audience immediately. Muselk also understood exactly what his viewers wanted to see. When one of his videos was well received, he wasn't hesitant to make a follow-up. Best and Worst Loadout series, Mythbusters, High Stakes, Is It OP, and later Try Hard Tuesday and Times 10. These are what made Muselk what he is. Consistent, quality content. And this was the key to his success. Interesting videos, an entertaining personality, and a large dedicated fan base. As the years went on, his content became more and more refined, making his videos more interesting, his personality more entertaining, and his fan base even bigger, snowballing to turn him into the biggest active Team Fortress 2 YouTuber in his prime. A large portion of his fan base were also fans of Star_, or Stir, who had the highest sub count for any TF2 channel for a long time. They both made content which was similar in style, which is no coincidence as Elliot was openly a fan of Stir long before he hit it big. And when Stir left the TF2 community, Muselk was there to fill in the gap he left behind. The turning point for Muselk's channel into legendary status was in 2015, when he made the decision that would change everything, and whose influence would still be felt to this very day.
Yesterday I decided to put university on hold, move down to Sydney, and have a real go doing YouTube full time. This is something that's really exciting for me. It's really awesome.
Until this point, Muselk was making videos alongside completing a university degree in Sydney. But he felt that he would benefit by dropping out of university and switching to daily uploads. This was huge. YouTube's algorithms heavily favour content which is regular, and this switch to daily videos did him wonders. Each new video would achieve nearly 1 million views, and sometimes even more than that. He would often branch out into other video games, but he would always come back to TF2. When he was at his biggest, he often received a great deal of scrutiny. Muselk was by far the most popular channel, and that position always attracts criticism. In Elliot's case, many saw his content as lowbrow comedy for younger viewers, and though I personally don't believe there's any shame in making that type of video, some saw it as a big reason to legitimize his content. I also remember seeing his videos actively altering the game when he uploaded. A video about an overpowered loadout would sometimes lead to imitators. and I would often find myself in games with engineers trying to abuse his sentry spots or use the loadout he'd just used in the last video. Maybe it's just the frequency illusion taking effect, but I swear that his videos had that sort of effect in game, and it's still something that YouTube has managed to do today, accidentally or otherwise. There is one more thing that I should mention when talking about Muselk's rise to stardom. Something that loomed over not only him, but everyone that played TF2 for nearly 2 years. The lead up to the release of Overwatch was an interesting time to be a TF2 fan. Blizzard announced its new class-based shooter in 2014, and it had a lot of people worried. The comparisons to Team Fortress 2 were clear, and the game was getting a lot of publicity from the big media outlets. We know now there was nothing to worry about, but back then there was a huge amount of people who actually believed that this game would kill TF2. Every channel had an opinion, every Reddit post gave it a mention, every TF fan was talking about it. Overwatch was everywhere before it had even launched. In the next 2 years leading up to the game's release, Team Fortress 2 underwent some hard times. The wait for Gunmetal was the longest time between any update, and the highly anticipated end of the line update was a huge disappointment in many people's eyes. It even helped spark the discussion about competitive matchmaking. It was a requested feature in TF2 for years, but now many thought that introducing this system would be the only thing that could save the game from being killed by Overwatch. And, well, when it came out, it was possibly the worst update in the game's history. And where does that leave us with Muselk? Well, imagine being in his position for a moment. You have to play the same game every single day for over a year and still make it entertaining to watch. The game is rarely ever updated, and whenever it is, there is a large chance that it will break, and you need to make videos that are unique enough that you aren't labelled as a copycat, and make sure that you aren't making the same video over and over. Meanwhile, there's this new game that everyone's talking about. One of the biggest developers in gaming was promising a new esport-worthy experience that would be familiar but fresh to anyone who'd played TF2 before. They were promising consistent updates, interesting gameplay, and a player base that would probably be bigger than TF2 could ever dream of. Safe to say, by the time Overwatch came out, Muselk was probably feeling a little bit burnt out on the game he'd been playing for work for 3 years straight. And he found that this new game was a breath of fresh air. Of course it would be. He found enjoyment in the gameplay and community, and found that his Overwatch videos were actually being received pretty well. Very well, actually. About as well as his old reliable videos. For a while he was making TF2 videos every other day, with Overwatch taking up the rest. Then he skipped a few days between TF2 uploads, and then a few weeks, and then, at the end of 2016, he decided to retire his regular TF2 content altogether to focus on Overwatch.
I absolutely love TF2, and it's for that exact reason I don't want to force myself to make videos for it when I'm just not feeling it, or I don't have the right ideas to actually make a video that's worth sharing with over 1 million people. I don't want to have to wake up and force myself to play a certain game and pretend I'm enjoying it just to fill an invisible quota. That's the type of thing that leads to absolutely horrible content, and ultimately makes me resent making the videos that I love doing.
I remember being 15 years old watching this evolution happen right in front of me. I still loved Muselk, I watched every new video, but his Overwatch content just didn't grab me like his other ones. And over time I found myself waiting longer and longer, my sub box filling up with these videos I just didn't care for, hoping one day to see a change back to the good old days, quote unquote. Really, I was sad to click that unsubscribe button and take Muselk out of my sub box forever. But in retrospect, I have to praise what Muselk did here. It was only a brave thing to do. To think of the many thousands of people he could have lost by making this shift, and the thousands of people he perhaps did lose, but in exchange for the millions he gained making Overwatch videos. It was a huge gamble, and he didn't take it because of some business decision. He did it for himself. The funny thing about all this is that the cycle kinda happened all over again. Overwatch has been mishandled and poorly supported for a long time now, And with that probably came some more burnout. And then Fortnite happened, and Muselk found a new level of popularity that most people could only dream of. And funnily enough, Fortnite is beginning to have the same mishandling, and it looks like Minecraft is beginning to take up more and more of his channel, but only time will tell. I do wonder if Muselk will still have it in him to stop playing a game that he doesn't enjoy. Because as much new stuff as Fortnite gets, it's not going to be fun forever. Muselk is special because he was able to evolve. He understands when old needs to die, and he's not afraid to move on before it's too late. I think the take-home message after looking at Muselk's history is to not look back in anger, and instead celebrate the life. I'm not angry at Muselk, not for one moment. I'm happy. He left us with hundreds of hours worth of fantastic videos. I still occasionally find myself going on a late night nostalgic binge of his old classic stuff. I end up laughing all over again at the jokes that I enjoyed 5 years ago and had completely forgotten about. And I remember why I loved this game so much. Thank you, Muselk. You really are a TF2 legend.
As always, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you legends in the next one. Bye bye.